The engine is starting up.
For launch. GC, go. Guidance, go. Fido, go. Prop, go. GNC, go. Max, go. Eagle, go. Ecom,
go. Pending final steps. The cabin link check.
3, 2, 1.
Is there anyone here that would like to communicate with us? Can you give us a sign?
Welcome to the Rift Nation Network, the Rnn, putting a slide in your glide and a dip in your hip. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe. With shows throughout the week, you can find us at Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Everything you could want, everything you can need right here, right now. From the paranormal to the supernatural. From comedy to the spiritual. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
It's showtime, folks!
Podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects, triggering content including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues, explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert.
Hello. Am I in? I'm not seeing anything. I think I'm having some technical difficulties, guys. Let me see. Hello. Hi, there I am. I'm so sorry, everybody. I seem to be having technical difficulties. Hello. I'm so happy to see you guys. Bob, I see you. Michelle, Annie, Deb. Hello. Happy Friday. Again, I apologize for that delay. So tonight, guys, I don't have a special topic. I have a special guest, and I'm so excited to have her. She is known as the Cosmic Doula, and I'm going to read off her bio, and then I'm going to bring her in. Hi, Annie B. Hello, Keisha. Hello, Bentley. Hello. I'm so excited to have all you guys here. So I'm going to read her bio. I'm going to bring her in so we can kick this off and meet the Cosmic Doula. So Kristen is an intuitive life coach who helps people move from survival mode into thriving, meaningful lives. With a lifelong connection to the unseen realms and a background in trauma-informed coaching, breathwork, and herbalism, she blends deep wisdom with a welcoming, witty approach. She offers one-on-one coaching, group workshops, paranormal consultations, my girl, and intuitive developmental guidance through her Patreon community and daily TikTok lives. Fun fact, that's how I met her, through TikTok. She believes intuition is a birthright, and that healing is not about fixing what's broken, but about remembering the wholeness that's always been. Yes. Hello, Tim, Michelle, Robert. Hello. I'm going to get her up. Hopefully I do this right. Let's see if we can get her in here.
Hey.
Let's see. Hello. Hi. Do we see you? I'm sorry, I'm having a really bad lag. There we go. Here she comes. Hello, hello,
Hi.
hello. I don't know what's going on tonight. How are
I'm
you?
doing well. How are you?
Well, there you are. I can see you now. I'm
No,
so
it's
sorry.
fine.
Hi, Van. Hello. First, I want to say thank you so much for taking your time out of your day to come here.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me.
So, can you tell us what is, because that's the one question I kept getting, like, what is a cosmic doula and how did you become one?
So I was doing life coach work here and there, and I was laying in bed one night and I was like, you know what? I need a name that actually catches what I do other than just life coach. And I had trained as a birth doula, and I was just sitting there and I was like, oh, a cosmic doula, because that's what a doula does,
Yeah.
is they guide you through with with knowledge and wisdom and support, and we just help you get through things. And so I was like, that sums up what I want to be doing for people. And I felt like I could say doula, as I have trained as a birth doula. I felt like that worked.
Yeah, that's really cool. Like when I think that's what like got me to like I gotta know this lady. When I saw your name, I was like, oh my god, Cosmic Doula. I've never heard of it before.
Yeah, it does catch people's attention, so it works really well.
So, is this like something intuitively you grew up doing, like as like a family thing, or did you decide later in life it kind of all connected? You know, some people grow up with very spiritual families and some people don't, and they kind of do it later. So what about you?
So I've always seen things paranormal, been very connected with my guides. As far as my family, very spiritual, but very religious. So there was actually quite a bit of, okay, we all know we have gifts, but we're going to keep them hidden. We're going to keep them quiet because sometimes it's just not.
Yeah.
And so that was part of what spurred me on too, was that people can be religious and still be intuitively connected to their guides and to the divine and things like that. So for me, it was kind of remembering, oh wait, hey, I have these gifts and I can still shine and do what I need to, and I can help other people realize that that's what they're able to do as well.
Yeah. That's amazing. Did you because like when I was young and I realized I had gifts, it was really hard for me at first. Did you have a struggle at first, or was you just it was really easy for you?
It was easy until people started being like, wait, what? Like, what are you? Oh, you silly little kid. You're just a spooky kid. Or like, oh, you're not really hearing or seeing things. So you learn to just kind of shut it down, because it can be scary. And if you
Yeah.
don't have the support system, then you're just like,
Oh yeah.
so.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to make sure we say hi to Glinda. David Robert says she is strong with the force. Yes, she is. Adam, hello. Amy, hello. I'm so happy. So I was looking at your all you do. How did you what drew you to combine trauma informed coaching with spiritual and intuitive? That really stuck out to me because a lot of people, especially now, are uncovering how much trauma they have. How did you combine that?
Just because there's such a connection. I think a lot of why our bodies shut down our ability to be naturally connected with our divine intuition is because we're living in a survival mode. And if you're just trying to survive and your body's constantly in fight or flight or fawn, then you're not able to reach out and to have that intuition connection, and you're not able to do what your soul and spirit wants you to be doing here on this earth. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people suppress trauma too, especially, we have childhood and generational and
yes.
it gets boxed up and then they hit their spiritual awakening sometimes and it's just like, what is going on? I'm going crazy.
Yes.
maybe that was me.
Yeah, and a lot of stuff will start coming up because as you're awakening and you're things, you're like, what do I do with this now? I don't know how to do this. And so
Mhm.
I think it's it works well.
Right. Adam, everybody saying hi to you. Annie saying hi. Rebecca, they're calling you Red. Do you prefer that? Do you have like a special thing you like to be called?
Everybody calls me Red on that account. But it doesn't really, like Red or Kristen, it doesn't really matter. They kind of, some people just refer to me as the spooky lady. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
The spooky lady. I like that. I get called a lot of
Oh, I bet.
interesting things. So tell me a little bit if somebody's listening and maybe they are, wanting to get on the spiritual side, but maybe they might have that trauma. What are some signs that you're stuck in that trauma mentality or that stuck mentality? How would you say that you would know? Like what's some symptoms of that?
A lot of that it is a general feeling of numbness, kind of where
Mm-hmm.
you feel like you're kind of viewing your own life. You're not actively participating in
Yeah.
it, but you're just viewing, and the things that are going on and you're going through, it's like that doesn't really feel like it's me. I'm here, I'm going through this, and that can be
Mhm.
for happy things or not. You kind of are just stepped outside of yourself. That's a real good indicator. um constant
Right.
constant body stress, not being able to
Mm.
breathe deep. That's actually a really big thing. When people are shallow breathers all the time, it's a good indicator that your
Mm-hmm.
nervous system is out of whack.
Yeah. Annie says her spirit guides are crowded around my shoulders trying to
her
watch.
spirit guides
You
her
know,
spirit guides brought her into my life one night, and all of a sudden, yeah, I was just
really?
dropping all these weird Star Wars references, and I was like, what the heck is going on? Why am I don't even know anything about Star Wars. And she was like, I think
Oh
it's
my
mom.
goodness.
It ended up being
Then the boo crew is here. I like that. The boo crew. That's so cute. I think my spirit guides are alcoholics at this point. Like I do, and like I am so like in my journey, I'm like have to go around the curve to get to the point, and like my guys are probably like, we're telling you to do this, but you're doing this, and what are you
I think
doing?
sometimes they do get a little fed up with our human nonsense.
People, including myself, don't understand how to stretch out. I only have gotten near but can't seem to push out. Ooh. Do you have any tips for how somebody can do that? How they can kind of push out and get comfortable, I guess, with, because there's a lot of fear mongering,
Yes.
right, with all this. So what would your advice be if somebody came to you and said, hey, what do I do?
So a big part of it is you treat it like a muscle. And so it has to be
Mm,
something that you're actively working on. If you go to the gym once or twice a month and then wondering why you're not, getting the six packs or things aren't toning up, it's the same thing. So working with your
mm,
intuition here and eventually connecting with guides and things like that, it's a muscle. It has to be built and it has to be exercised and strengthened.
mm-hmm. That's really good advice. I love it. I love it. Do you have all the clairs you feel? Or is there one that you're stronger with? Because some people see, hear, taste, smell, just know.
Um,
Do you have one in favor, or is it just whatever spirit brings that day?
So generally, I do consider myself claircognizant and clairaudient. I do
Okay.
I do see things, but I don't see things quite with my human eye. All right, it's my third eye. The only one that I'm not very strong with is
Uh-huh.
touching and then picking up. There are times I'll touch something and I'm like, oh, what's happening? But as far as being able to just read from touch, I'm not so great at. But I have
Yeah.
conversations with my guides just like you and I are. It's that clear. So
Mm. I try that. Usually mine is like they're like yelling at me, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to do that today. No, I do. I always joke with my mentor, like either mine are alcoholics or they put their 2 weeks in. They're done with me. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, they do. It's kind of funny. I'll have people that will get the same messages over and over and over, and I'm like, listen, they're not going to give you anything new until you start paying attention to what they're literally like. What do you want from us?
You know, my beef with them is everything's in a puzzle. At least for me. Like I feel like, why can't you just tell me, okay, on this day go to this route, push this button, and you're good? No, they gotta be like a piece here, a piece there. Oh, in your dream.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
I
what
could
does it
have some
mean?
clear communication. That would be great.
Yeah, just simple directions would be great. Oh my goodness, I love it. I love it. So, I wrote some questions down so I wouldn't mess up. Tell me about. I'm really interested in herbalism and like how you incorporate that and what got you into that, because that's like something I'm like peeking into, but I'm like super lost.
I was definitely one of those kids that was out making witchy potions ever since I was super tiny. And so it was I was, I think, a sophomore in high school when this is going to date me, but the internet became real accessible, and I was able to really dive into things just beyond the weird books that my mom had. And it just made sense. It just made sense. I do consider myself, I wouldn't say Green Witch is the only title, but I do consider myself in that area. So herbs and plants and things like that have a lot of power, and I'm a big fan of natural health and using what's here on the planet. And so it was right after I took my birth doula courses. I went and I did a course and certification in herbalism, specializing in maternal and child health.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, when I had my fifth child, my daughter, I did not have a doula. I had this holistic midwife because the hospital, my doctor was out and they just had her, and it was the best experience ever. It's so much different from, like, not that Western approach is bad, but like it was calm, it felt comfortable, it wasn't forced, it was just beautiful. And I love it. I love it. Is there a favorite herb or herbal regimen that you really like it's a daily thing? Are you like a tea drinker that like makes the tea?
I do have tea sometimes, but I will flat out tell you, my lion's mane mushroom, I don't function without it.
Really?
Like even the ladies will sometimes be like, "Did you take your lion's mane?" Because I'm like, I have diagnosed ADD, and lion's mane. I'm off that medicine, and I'm a completely different functioning human being with it. But probably.
So buy lion's mane, in other words.
Yes, and make sure you're getting it from, and I'll plug it because it's the best ones up. It's realmushrooms.com. That's where you go.
Okay.
Yeah, because you have to be extracted a certain way to be getting the compounds that are going to be helpful for you.
Right. So Adam says, tell her about your ritual guidance. Hey.
So well, we do rituals. We did one this on April 30th for Beltane, but it was a reclaiming ritual. So I held space and guided the ladies through being able to reclaim parts of themselves. So it was kind of one of those where they get to decide what they were calling back. A lot of them, it was their own self-power. It was belief in themselves. And we did that. And even on Zoom, it was beautiful. It was just beautiful to feel the energy and to hear their experiences after. It was amazing.
I love it. I always call back, and I have a special friend that does it too. And because they forget, like, everything you've ever done, every person you've touched, intimacy, just daily life, you give a little bit of your energy to everything. And of course, I'm a big believer in energy vampires and things like that. And so I'm always like, because I'm drained enough. I'm a mom of 5. I need all the
Yeah,
energy to come
you
on
don't
back.
have nothing else to
Come
give
back
to
to mama.
them.
I don't. I don't have anything. And I'm just like, please come on back. Let's see. Amy says, "Hi Cosmic. What are you working currently that you're really passionate about?" Ooh, do you have a new project right now?
Let's see. Not really a new project. Let's see. We did decide in the TikTok lives that we're dropping out of the heavier online coaching there, and we're calling it chaos, summer chaos, and we're just kind of being feral fae energy. So we're going to be learning a lot more about folk healing and getting in touch with the ancestral part of magic and things like that. So that's our summer section on there. I do have a class coming up on June 1st that it's a defense against the dark arts summer edition. So yeah, that's,
I like
and
that.
that's
And they can find that on your
yes.
website, I'm assuming.
Yep.
I will put that in there.
Thank you.
I love that. And the rest of it you're doing solely through TikTok, your ancestral.
Yeah, the rest of it will
is that going through TikTok?
be on TikTok, and then I do have a Patreon that has deeper work in there. Where we just started a 12-step people pleaser detox program that's happening in the Patreon. So they get guided meditation, they get an audio script, they get paper worksheets and guides, journal prompts, things like that.
Awesome. Do you work with men and women? Is it only women? Do you allow children?
I do work with men and women. I have not officially worked with children, but it's definitely something that I would be if people wanted to. I do have a couple people where I work with the mom and like the daughter to kind of heal some things and stuff like that. So
I think that's really special, because if we look back on a lot of trauma, it usually happens with parenting and past parenting, and it kind of trickles throughout. I had a really treacherous relationship with my mother, and she did with hers, and it trickles down throughout everything. But I always say it taught me how to be a better mother, because I didn't want to be anything like that.
Yes.
So it helped me.
We're all, even if you're a really good parent, there's still some point probably that if your kid's in therapy, your name's going to come up. It's going to happen.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But yeah, it's like that same thing. It's you look at what your parents and you say, okay, well, I'm going to not do that. I'm going to change it. And we just hope things get better. Ancestral healing is a big part of the work that we do, or that I do, and that we do in the group, because it's a real thing.
That's interesting. Can they find your Patreon on your webpage? I'm gonna put it in there.
Yes. So under links and information on my website, there's the Patreon.
What does ancestral healing look like if somebody was thinking about getting that? Is that like something that's like a one-on-one a few times? Is it a long period, one and done?
So it kind of depends. It's definitely not one of those things that's kind of a one and done. The way that I work, if I was to work with somebody individually, it looks a lot like a regular life coaching kind of class, with more of that emphasis. I do believe breath work can be incredibly healing, and breath work can take us to places that even meditation can't, because a lot of times with meditation, you're actually leaving your body. You're not here.
Right.
With breath work, especially somatic breath work, the point is to stay here. You're healing here, and you're reconnecting and getting back in touch with your body, so that when panic, when trauma and things like that are coming up, you don't keep leaving your body, because that happens. We'll do that when things are too triggering. We leave our body, and then we never learn how to actually be present in a situation and move through it.
I've never heard it like that before. I like that. I like that. So if somebody's never done breath work before, how would you recommend they begin? Did they just start by focusing on how they're breathing? Is there like a ritual like you like to tell them to do? I mean, you don't have to like do an demonstration, but like just a little tip. Like never done it in their life, what would you do?
So just conscious breathing.
Mhm.
Like some of the ladies in the chat, the breathing, just breathe. Because sometimes I'm like, are you breathing? Have you
Yeah.
breathed? Even when I'm doing readings over the internet, I can be like, I can tell you're not breathing. I need you to breathe. So even just conscious breath that way. Now, when you're doing a breath work session, it's usually guided. There's types
Mhm.
of breathing that happens at certain times. The way that I do it, there's music involved as well, because music can make our bodies go through different emotions.
Mhm.
Um, and so it's,
Right.
yeah.
I talk a lot about frequencies and like because like when you think about music, there's music to make you happy, there's music in
Yes.
horror movies to scare the crap out of you. Like
Yes.
it can really put your body in different feelings, and I really enjoy music.
Yeah. It makes a big, big difference.
It's me, I don't breathe.
Comments. But
Well,
it is, I could tell because it sticks and then their energy just goes like,
I'm usually
and
told like you're breathing too fast. 'Cause I'm over here like
And
trying to
that's
get
part of
in
it too, because what happens when you're breathing fast like that, your body goes into what's going on? Where's the danger? Because usually,
right.
so a big part of that is when we're in moments where we're noticing that our breath isn't catching and we're not going deep with it.
Mhm.
You, if you can, breathe in and go deep and calm that down and help your body realize it can help you with panic attacks. It can get you through all sorts of big moments that generally you would just not make it through.
Mm. So it looks like you do great with visualization. I love visualization, but can you explain to everyone else kind of what that means? What would somebody do if they were getting a visualization done or guided with one?
Okay. So I don't do well with meditation. My brain doesn't. And so when we do our guided visualizations, it's a lot like meditation, but I'm
Mhm.
guiding you through it. I'm leaving enough space that that everything gets to be detailed out how you need it to be, and the messages are you. But I'm still taking you to a place that you're going to get what you need out of that without being like, I don't know where I'm at or what's happening or and so the ladies seem to really like the guided visualizations that we do, and
Mhm.
we do some of those on TikTok and then in the Patreon as well.
Oh, that's great. I love that. I love that. I love visualizations. Meditation, I've really had to put a lot of work into. I love to meditate. It's one of my daily things, but it took me a long time to get there because my brain is like bouncy. Like I'm thinking 50,000 things. Now I can do it and I really feel good, but it took me a long time to get there.
Yeah, it's another muscle too. We have to build it,
Yeah,
and yeah.
right. Spicy brains appreciate. I can actually show everyone. I should have been doing this from the get go, so forgive me. Guided visualizations from other spicy brains.
Yes. It's helpful.
Aw, you have a lot of fans. I love it. You have a lot of beautiful people in here. That's you. I love it. I love it. Do you agree that everybody on this earth is gifted in one way spiritually? Like whether it's,
Yes. I think that
whatever.
yeah, I think you're born, you have intuition when you're born. It comes,
Mhm.
it's your divine right. And whether you're religious, spiritual, if you call it source or God or goddess, whatever, you have a divine right to that connection there.
Oh,
And
I
I
love it.
think that it unfortunately gets mashed out of us. We're taught to not believe in ourselves. We're taught that we're crazy, and if you grew up very religious, there's a lot of religions that teach that you cannot have a direct connection. You have to go through a priest or a preacher or whatever.
Mhm.
And so I firmly believe that we are divinely um, we it's just our right to have that.
Right. Robert says a friend passed about a week ago. Usually I can when someone close to me is in trouble, but I didn't feel anything. I worked with this guy for many years, but I didn't feel it this time. I was blocked in this case. Do you think that that goes for spiritual, like, because like for me, some of the people that passed away in my family, they visited me, but some have not. Do you think it's preference on the spirit, or do you think it's us that we block it out because we're emotionally like attached? What do you think that is?
I think it's the spirit. I think some of them full on have I think they're busy and they have other things to do. And if they have other people to see and be around and things, that's part of why, uh, even though I have people that have passed come through in readings, I will not call myself a medium and I will not
Mhm.
actually search out. That's one of the reasons is I'm like, they have stuff to do. And so if they have a
Mhm.
message for you, then they'll come and then we'll
Right.
receive that message.
So I always say that poor medium. I do mediumship practice through my mentor every week. She does it, so I
Mhm.
practice, but not in a thing where I ever feel like I could go out and be like, okay, let me find your person, because I feel like they get a bad rap because they assume I want grandma. Well, I can't go out to and pull her out and be like, talk to me. She has
Right.
to want to come. And so
Exactly.
then what happens is she doesn't come, then they're like, oh, that medium don't know what they're doing, blah, 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 and it looks really bad. And I feel really bad. So it scares me off a lot. I'm practicing, but it's like, man, if I don't get the person they want, then I'm a fraud, for in their
Yes.
eyes. And it really sucks
Yeah,
for
it
them
does.
that does that.
And there's you're into paranormal stuff, and so you know that not always what's coming through is what's actually coming through. They can say
Hmm.
they're grandma and they could give you 9 truths so that you believe the one lie. And I think
Yeah.
people have to be very, very aware that that is a thing.
Right. With my paranormal and demonology, I think the biggest misconception is people assume that demons are always going to come scary, but they don't. They come sweet and innocent because the point is they need you to let them in. So if I'm
Yes.
come in as a little girl and I just want you to be my friend, and then you say, come on in, well, there's the invitation.
Yep.
And
And
now
you're
you're,
screwed.
yes, now you're
Exactly.
calling me.
Yes. Yes. And that's what with my paranormal consultations and stuff too. That's what happens. A lot of people are like, "Well, I what? How is that?" I'm like, "You that's an invitation." I'm
Yeah.
like, "These things have been around for eons. They're much smarter and sneakier than we are and they know how to
Right.
work that system."
I tell people because I investigate. So, this is all on me. I investigate all the time. But the moment
Mm.
I walk in a location and if anybody says, is there anyone here? You just opened up communication for anyone, like
Yes.
you said it.
Boundaries are important in real life and paranormal life.
Oh, I got my Palo Santo and my crystals and my prayers and Saint Michael and everything is in
Yes.
my the lights around me and any herb I got. Oh yeah, I'm there.
Yeah. It's
And I'm
important.
respectful. I thank them, and when I'm leaving, I'm like, "Thank you so much, but you can't come home with me. You gotta stay right here. See you
Exactly.
next time." But
Exactly. And
people
there
don't
are so many
understand.
people. Yeah,
Mhm,
they get fooled so easy. And yeah.
mhm. Some grandma spirits will throw slippers. Oh my goodness.
So I tend to get because of I do a lot of the ancestral work. So a lot of the spirits that will come through for readings are actually a lot of the grandmas.
Oh yeah.
And there's a few abuelitas that have come through and have literally
Mhm.
I'm like feeling them standing there and they're like slapping their slipper like you give this message and I'm like okay I'm getting to it I'm getting to
Right.
it.
But that's how, because my husband is Hispanic, so I'm in a very bilingual family, and like he has a scar. My mother-in-law popped him with a with a spatula one time because they
Yeah.
everything is thrown. I'm like, what are you doing?
No, so but yeah, that's happened more than once
Yeah,
with some of
you gotta
this.
watch out for those flying chanclas.
Yes.
Aw, everybody's saying you're amazing. Hello,
Thank you
Glenda.
guys.
Hello, Tim.
Yes,
Angry
and
German
angry German.
grandmas. Oh no,
Yes.
I wouldn't want to mess with them.
No. Oh man.
Hi,
Yeah.
Heidi. Welcome in. You're not late. You're on time. Nobody's ever late. You're on time. Don't worry about it. We are with the Cosmic Doula. I'm so happy that you're here again. I'm so thankful. I don't know if it was you came into my life or I came into yours, but I was like, oh, I gotta know her. So tell
don't
me
remember.
about my favorite thing on earth. Tell me about your paranormal reconciliation. How does that work for you? What do you do?
So kind of depends. When somebody comes in and they're like, "Hey, I need a paranormal consultation," then what I do is I kind of get what they've been experiencing, what's from their point of view, what's happening. I then do an energetic check-in. Um, I don't call it remote viewing because it's not quite the same, but it's basically I can go in and I can see what's going on. I can feel the spirits, all those kinds of things. Um, and then at that point, we work on, okay, well, why is this thing there? What's going on? Where was the entry point? What's the attachment? And a lot of times we have to work on the person that's experiencing these things, realizing that they're the one that is actually in control, and they have the ability to make the things leave, to express that. And a lot of times they have been made to believe that they are powerless, that they have to just take whatever's coming at them. So there's actually a lot of life coaching and trauma work that goes into those kinds of things. Now sometimes there's just a creepy thing and we can get it gone, and it's
Right.
gone. um, and that'll just happen. And sometimes I'll be doing a reading or something and I'll actually see the things that are hanging out with the person, and I'm like, oh, we have something else that needs to be addressed. It's not
Yeah.
just so.
Yeah, when you see the dark guys, you're like, oh no.
Yes, or like the
the creepers. What do they call them? Creepers in the corners and
yeah,
stuff.
the creepy, the little things, and they just hide and you're like, oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
horror.
I always tell everybody that comes to my TikTok, and the first thing you want to know is like, oh my God, my house is haunted. What do I do? And I'm like, well, the first thing is, if you are scared and you're admitting fear, then you are giving them the buffet they need to torment you. So you need to get in your house. I tell them, imagine somebody coming in your door, a human. You wouldn't just let them barge in. You'd be like, So you have to stand in control and be like, you're not welcome here. You need to go.
Exactly.
Respectfully. Bye. And then, I can tell them I've got cleansings for every religion possible, because I work with all kinds. No matter if you believe in God or the tree out back, I don't care. As long as you got to have something here.
Yeah,
I can work with. If you don't believe anything, then we have to have a deeper conversation, because I need something to hold on to, right?
Yes.
And then I help them from there. But you'd be surprised, is the moment that they live in fear, it's worse than if they would just, the tree out back guys. I'm telling people believe it. There's a lot of different beliefs, guys, a lot. And I respect them all.
That's one of the things that I push as we're learning about paranormal things. It's not for everybody to deep dive. That's not. Some people will never be called to the kind of work that we do. But to have enough knowledge that you lose the fear, you still keep the respect for what's happening, but you do not need to live in fear and let these things just, run roughshod over you. So it's important that they understand how it actually works.
Right. And my biggest thing is, I'm always like, my first question is, tell me about the very first moment it changed, because we got to figure out, did you go somewhere? Did you maybe try something and you had no idea what you're doing, and you wasn't prepared, and things happen, no judgment. And then, because we have to talk about it, because if you're going to continue to do things, you need to do it the right way. You need to have your protections. Whatever you're going to do, fine, but let's back up here.
Yes, exactly. What was the entry point? Why?
Yeah, because TV now, especially with the paranormal, oh my God, it makes it seem like this glorious thing. And next thing you know, you have somebody just going in yelling at all these spirits. And then next thing you know, they're scratched and they wonder why. And I'm like, well, if you came to Man and Me to dance for you, I'm going to scratch you too.
Right? Why is it so angry? Well, what do you mean, why is it so angry? You just came in acting like a complete a-hole. I don't know what you expect.
Yeah. They'll ask me, what do you feel about this show? I'm like, I don't like it. I don't like any of them. Not that I have any beef. It's just they don't understand. They take that hour and they don't realize it's probably months worth of footage in 1 hour, because it doesn't work that way. If I wish that, you knock on the door, like, come on in, let's give you all the evidence you need, but it does not work that way. Oh, yay. They're sharing out your page. That's so good. I'm so thankful.
Thank you. Thank you, Amanda.
And I'm getting the same positive vibes like I do when I watch Rebecca Rose. Beautiful. I'm grateful for amazing skies and nature. Yes. That's they're talking about Colorado. We have a few people in here that are in Colorado or have been there. I have not. Where do you want to share where you're located at? If you don't want to, that's okay.
I'm in Idaho.
Idaho.
Yeah.
Do you like
Yeah,
it?
I've lived. I do love Idaho. I've lived all over the United States though, like back east in the South,
Mhm.
Pacific, like even more Pacific Northwest, in Colorado for a while as well.
Mm,
So I've lived all over, which I think has really helped me understand the different cultures
right.
and things as
So
well, just within our U.S.
yeah, I'm in Virginia, and
Okay.
so we have a whole history here, like
Yeah,
everywhere else.
yeah. I
Let's
was
see.
in West Virginia, which I know is not the same.
Okay,
You guys are very different, but I
West
was.
Virginia is beautiful.
Yes.
Let's see. Got to treat them with respect. Yes, I wish people, Keith, would take Keith's words right here and just like embed them, because they forget they were people once. Well, unless you're dealing with demonic, that's different. But your average spirit was a person before. They were
Exactly.
somebody's mother, father, friend, whatever, and they deserve respect.
They
You'll
do.
get a lot better evidence if you respect the spirits. You will get a lot better evidence than if you go in there shouting.
Yeah. So many of
Welcome.
those shows just want
Oh, welcome to How Zach
to
Investigates.
read. Yeah. She knows I cannot stand him.
I can't
Zach.
either. People ask, that's a one they ask me about, and I don't like to judge people, but you know what I always say to keep it respectful? He is an example of what happens when money and ego gets to you. That's all I can say.
That is very,
Respectfully.
yes, very nice.
So much magical beauty out there. I haven't been that far south, but I have friends. Yeah. So, speaking of all these places, I always like to ask, what is your bucket list? If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you want to go?
The UK.
UK.
Yeah, just because of ancestral roots there, but there's the huge amounts of mystical and magical and everything that's there just in one.
I have a few friends on TikTok in the UK, and I'm just so jealous. And I want my top is Ireland and Scotland, like those. It's just like I want to be where the fairies are,
Yes.
known for, and like elementals. I want to just like be in that grass grounding with them.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm like,
And
I
of
don't know if
course,
I'm coming back if I ever go.
yeah. That's why I told my husband, I was like, if we go to Ireland, we ain't coming back. I've been in Virginia now I'm 38 years old. So I've seen enough of Virginia. Let's see. Where do you go live, Cosmic, and what are your lives like? Oh yeah. Tell us about how you handle and how you do TikTok.
Okay. So I go, my scheduled times are Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. That's when I'm always on. And then just randomly other times as well. But generally we have, usually there's a topic.
Mm-hmm.
This summer it's going to be not as scheduled. It's just going to be a lot more hanging out. We do readings. We do spirit led. It kind of we call it spirit nightclub because
They're all hanging out.
I don't know if you've been in there, but Archangel Michael, basically how I have him set up it is like a rope at a nightclub. And he's like, no, these spirits can come in and these ones can't. So that's what we call it, a spirit nightclub. We do that. We just did a class on the basics of American folk healing. And we'll deep dive more into that. We do a lot of the same kind of stuff you do sometimes with the cryptids and different weird paranormal stuff. So it kind of just depends, but we're all over with all sorts of fun.
I love that. Yeah, because mine's all spooky and weird and paranormal. But I love the fact that you're an intuitive coach and you do all the fun things that I don't have the gift for. I don't know, like when sometimes when I see my beautiful friends and stuff, and like you that are coaches, you guys have an immense amount of patience. Just like,
oh, Meg says,
where did I find that
at? There's some times where I'm like, what? I'm gonna shake you.
Yeah, especially like when you. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like because there are some people I'm just like, you're not gonna learn.
There are. And I'm like, you have a big cosmic bitch slap coming your way because you are not paying attention.
Mhm. Oh, meditation. Tell us about Meditation
Okay.
Mondays. Meg says we can't forget that.
So Monday mornings at 8:30, we do. It's not technically the meditation, but that's what we still call it. It's the guided visualization, and basically the idea is that we're setting an energy theme for the week for what they want to be carrying with them through the week. It kind of gives them a good grounding and a basis to step in, to set an intention or a goal. And then on Wednesdays, we do the same thing. Wednesday mornings, we kind of do a check-in and give them a little bit of a energetic boost, and just kind of.
So I'm looking. Tell me about soul alignment. That caught my eye too. What is a soul alignment session look
Okay,
like?
so this is something that I've been working on for a while, and it's my own creation, and it kind of intuitively just fell into place. But it's probably my favorite thing that I can do for a client. So basically, what we do is we start with your astrological data, and we do a spiritual path report based on your astrological data, which it's not. It's not like a zodiac, but it's a lot like what you're, because of how you were born, when you were born, all of that, what you came into this world with, the gifts, what you came in aligned to be able to possibly do and bring to this world, your motivations, your core, kind of all the things that you were set here to do before the world decided, oh wait, no, we're going to tell you can't do this, or you have to do it this way, this way, this way, this way. I then have people take the Enneagram test and the Myers-Briggs personality, which is like the INFP, INFJ, if you've seen those, because that gives us a real good example of what's been skewed, what's changed, what's off course. So combining all of those, I intuitively create a guide, and it basically becomes a personalized course for you.
Wow. I've never had that before. That sounds so cool and amazing.
It's about
So is it different from like your life path blueprint kind of thing where you have to have your birthday and your time of you were born? Is it like completely different from that, or is it kind of like similar?
So what with the spiritual path report, that's what that is. I like, it's all of your so I use that to bring in the bits and pieces before, and then with the alignment guide personality blueprint that I create, it brings you back. It shows you like, okay, well, these are the things that you're capable of, that you came into this world with, and was kind of planned out for you cosmically. Here's what's happening. Here's your skew, or where things have been kind of the filters, and we work to bring it back into alignment. And that's through life coaching, through the journal prompts, and sometimes just understanding, why am I acting this way, or why do I handle situations this way? So that can actually give a really good example. So it's about a 35-40 page report.
Wow.
That goes.
You're a busy lady. Do you think that the trauma and the fear is what causes those blockages or causes us to skew off our path? Do you think that kind of has something to do with it?
A lot of it does. Yeah, because it's basically like, who were you before the world came in and said you had to be a different way?
Red has changed my outlook on all spiritual things because I never used to believe in this. I love that. To me, that is the best. I don't know about like what you do, but as a paranormal person, when somebody like piques interest, I'm like, yes, welcome to the side.
Yes.
Because I have a lot of people come in and they tell me they don't believe it, and then they listen to a presentation of mine. They're like, oh my God, maybe it is possible. I'm like, there you go. Because I never push. I always present the information, the theories. I have, you've seen, I have pictures, I have everything. And then it's up to you to decide, do you believe a Wendigo exists or Bigfoot, or do you think it's all in our brain? And then I'll let you go on your way. And then, maybe you'll call me because you've seen one.
Exactly. Well, I think a lot of people just are like, oh no, I've never experienced anything or any of this. And then they start to hear things and they're like, oh wait, maybe that
Mhm.
is one of the things. It was a couple
Right.
lives a couple weeks ago, and we were just being kind of silly, but I was showing the parallel between alien abductions and possessions and paranormal activity. So we actually were like possessed or probed. That was the name of our
No, it's a good question. Would you
Yes,
rather?
exactly. That's what we were actually one of the things. But the
I
correlations, because some people are like, I've never had alien activity or whatever. But then I'm like, well, how do you
Mhm.
know now that you see the
Right. Yeah. Fun fact, most people that have been abducted don't
exactly?
remember. That's why they have regression therapy and things like that to open those blockages. And they're like, oh my
Yeah,
God. But for the would you rather, I think I'd rather be abducted than possessed. I don't know. I don't like nothing taking over my body. But I don't want nothing. I
I
don't
don't
know. That's
want
a hard one.
nothing
'Cause I don't
like
know
it.
nobody.
That's why I was like, I think we all need to before we pick. We're like, well, who's abducting us? Let's pick which.
Yeah. Right. And like also which demon, because is there a priest available or a
Yeah,
healer? Like, how quick can this exorcism happen
ask
before
more questions before you make your choice.
I need like the whole thing because yeah, but no, a lot of people don't realize until they've had like a regression therapy session that they were abducted or experimented on or had an experience in their
Yes.
home, where the paranormal is a lot more welcomed in society today. Like everybody has seen a
Yeah.
ghost mostly, or they think everybody's crazy. So it's really interesting. But I'm just like, you guys can stay over there. I'm over here happy. And I can, spirits and demons I'm cool with dealing with, but when you deal with extraterrestrials, that's a whole different
It's different
like
rules.
ball
They
game.
have different
Yeah,
rules. So they're much scarier, I think.
they are much scarier to me. Like, and I know a lot of people work with like the council and all these things. And I think that's beautiful. They scare me. I'm like,
No, I'm with you.
I'm gonna be on your
I'm with you.
side. We're friends. I always say that about like my witchy friends. There's some witchy friends that you don't make mad. Yep, we're friends. Like, yeah, we're cool. I'm gonna be over here. Hi. So, okay, the new class what is that about? Since when does that kick off? I know the Dark Arts is June 1st, right?
Yes.
And you said there was another class, or is that the class? What is the new
That's the
class?
class.
Okay.
That's that's a standalone. So it's a 2-hour Zoom. Just to try to the whole purpose is to get you ready for summer. So it's not just dark arts as far as demons and things like that, but it's also dealing with energetic vampires, things, learning about if you're traveling, things you can do when you get to hotels. A lot of people have a lot of experiences in hotels and things like that because you're not
Thank
at
you.
your
Yes.
same place. So you've not put up your protection. You're not put up. So
Yep.
it's kind of just a quick 2-hour Zoom to kind of go over that and get you prepped for dealing with the summer things. Yeah, and then in the Patreon,
Right. And people forget that.
oh,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
yeah, and then in the Patreon, we just
Mhm.
started our 12-step people pleaser detox. So to move out of
Ooh,
people pleaser
I like it.
mentality.
I'm gonna check that out. Yes, I think for many years I was a people pleaser because I just wanted to, I didn't want to be like, I didn't want conflict, I guess is the point. But now I'm just like, yep, I don't need you.
Yeah.
I'm good in my little bubble. Yeah, it's really hard to do. But so since this is about spiritual protection, what is your favorite form of protection spiritual? Like if you have a tool or a thing you do, what's your favorite?
I think the easiest and fastest one and the easiest to explain to is a golden bubble, or some people call it the golden egg.
Mhm.
I taught it to my kids like a hamster egg or a hamster ball. That's why.
Mhm.
So that seems to be the quickest and easiest for most people to just be able to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, Heidi says me too. I think a lot of people get stuck in that people pleaser
Yes.
span.
Yes.
But we go to hotels looking for spirits. I do too.
That's
But people
me and
forget it's a revolving door. So you go stay in a hotel. You don't know what the person before you was doing or after. And it's not like they go in with the Palo Santo and clean it. No, they just flip it. So that's
Right,
energy.
exactly.
Golden
Yeah,
bubble.
so that's what I always tell the because I'll have people come into the lives too that when they come in, I immediately know there's something with them. And so I'll sometimes just be like, golden bubble up, or I'll put it in the Discord because I'm like, we're just gonna be extra protective.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness, this hour went by too fast. Okay, so it's yourcosmicdoula.com. What is your TikTok handle?
Your Cosmic Doula.
Okay, and but it has red in front of it, right? Is it red in front of it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And your Patreon's on your page. Is there anything else that I missed that you offer that I missed that you want to tell people that they can get? I think I tried to write down everything you offer, so I make sure I cover it.
Yeah, I think you got everything. Yeah.
Let me see. I just want to make sure. Yeah, we got this and everything. I've used white, but I believe gold is stronger. Do you think color matters? Or is that personal preference? You think it does?
I think it's personal preference, but I think anything that, and this might just be my own, but anything that is more heavenly reminds them more of that bright, pure, clean kind of feeling, I think makes other things kind of stay away more. Like if I if I bubbled up with a black bubble, I don't feel like they're going to be as like,
Yeah. And even throughout time, like even if, let's say, somebody doesn't believe in God, but you believe in angels, anytime over time when somebody would paint an archangel, an angel, they always had a beautiful glow above their head. They call it the halo. So I think it's a standard that these colors and this brightness, it really helps, just like people, you're afraid of the dark, you cut the light on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I indeed do. I feel an after daily with a golden. Oh, I love that. I love that. Golden sun. Thank you, Amy. I know this. Okay. So, guys, let me type it in the chat one more time before we get off of here, just so you guys can find her, and make sure you guys look her up on TikTok. Are you going live tonight or no?
I think I am actually. After I jump off of here, I'm gonna jump on.
So make sure you guys jump over to TikTok and check out her and her space. I'm excited. I'm excited for I'm going to check out this this new class, and I'm really interested in the life spiritual path one. That's really cool. I like that. Thank you guys so much. I want to thank everybody that tuned in. I want to thank everybody that commented, shared it out. Thank you so much. I'm so thankful for your time on this busy Friday. I know you have a lot going on.
Yeah,
thank you.
So appreciate you inviting me. It was.
Oh yeah, you're great. Thank you. I'm gonna eventually hit a video because my computer is freezing again. Okay. I'm so sorry.
No, you're okay.
All right, guys. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for tuning in. Click over now to TikTok and watch her and see what all she can do. Check out her webpage. Thank you so much.